Welcome to Layout Tour part number 3. Let's see what we got. All right, so what I want to show you guys here is the lift out. Pretty simple kind of thing. It's pretty tight no matter what you think about, but I'll show you the lift out process and then I'll show you what we do when it's in. So to pop it out, you hit it from the right hand side and then lift it straight up. And you can see if I tried to do this as a actual tilt, it comes up and it hits the top up there. So you can't do that. And to make it do a tilt to come down, well then if you did that, it comes down and maybe if I changed it, maybe I can do that. Oh, but coming up then bringing it up to the top, then bringing it up to come to up here, that doesn't work. I don't know. It was never a really good thing to begin with. But to put it in, you got to put the left side in, drop it down nice and smooth, and then land it on the other side. And it is a pretty nice snug fit. 4 sides. I got a little lock button on this side. I got a lock button underneath. And then we found that it's kind of getting worn, so I take a half of a clothespin and slide it under the lock, and it pinches it down nicely so that it keeps this all from moving around. And then underneath, I'll show you a little bit later, there's banana plugs from stereo speakers, which I use to do the power so that it has full power running across. And you can see we did manual throw. And we haven't put a manual throw on it yet, but I want to put one on this one here. And then that brings it into this side right over here. And this is basically going to be a pellet factory that we're going to put up here. This will be one of the last industries that will be serviced up here. So it'll be a little shunting thing that gets done right here into the pellet factory. All right, I'll show you the rest of that in a minute. Okay, and so you can see the banana plugs. I got red and white, basically red and black, and then you just take them, push them in. Push them in, and that goes in there, and so that quickly connects the lines through there. So when I did some of the wiring for this, I figured that's a really quick and easy way to make some good connections, along with using the suitcase connectors. And my flashlight went. Anyways, you can see we got another set of banana plugs right there. A lot of suitcase connectors, but we also use terminal blocks. There's another suitcase, the banana plug. And that way, if we really need to pull out some of these sections, they come out at least without having to break some wiring. I did some of the regular terminal blocks so that I can make a change. And so this is a pull point. And I don't know if you can see it or not. Maybe right there. That's actually split all the way across. So this section here is removable compared to this section. You'll see it up here, right here at the at all of the ends of the rear railers. That's a split line too. Those are not connected at all. Each one of those are just nicely aligned, and power runs from each side of it so that we got a good feed all the way through it. I did that in a couple sections so that, especially on this side, if we have to do some extra work anywhere and something has to come out, it can kind of come out. But I was looking at it after the fact, and I didn't do that when I did the incline for the AR section. So it will be a little bit tougher to take out the AR section first and then remove the lower level. But I don't know if you can see that, and that's cut in one piece of wood to bring it from one side to the other side to get around the track. So it came down and then it moves over to the other side. That's why there's a curve there, right? But yeah, and then so when I did the wiring, I did as much banana plugs and or terminal blocks where I could. This is another spot. There's a terminal point there. But when I did the curve here, I did the terminal block right there to remove the curve. But then I think it's just these two pieces. Sorry, this one here and this one here are transition ones to the other half of it. But yeah, I didn't make it too serviceable friendly, but at least it is to a point. So at least on this end. So you see that we have new pink insulation. So before we did any of this stuff was really bad. And we went up and I redid all of that before we even put anything up on these walls or anything like that. It's a basement. It's warm down here. I never drywalled it. It only goes halfway down. You can see where it stops there behind. I don't want to dump nothing. But you can see my wall stops halfway down and it doesn't go all the way to the floor. So I would like to go all the way to the floor. But that's another time, something that I'm not ready to do. But my problem is that we had all of this stuff already up on the walls. And there's the original insulation. And you can see how yellow it is. And there is actually a small, not small, there is a crack in my foundation right here, which goes up and into just behind right here. So it does get a little wet right there. I got to keep an eye on it when it rains. That's something to be done, household shit. But all of this right here needs to be redone at some point because of that insulation. It's in pretty good shape. So, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The only spot I worry about is what's behind right there. You can see the red tape. I already had it open at one point to take a look at how bad the water is, but it's a very small little crack. I don't know if you can see inside there. Oh, I need the flashlight. Get ready for this. Yeah. And back inside there, there are boxes. And those are all engines, all inside back there. There must be at least a dozen or more. All under the stairs. Adam's hoard. I got some wires and stuff like that, but yeah. We really like the, what are they, Scale Trains engines. They're really good. Rapidos are really good, but Scale Trains got some really good weight, and that's why Adam really likes them. But yeah. All right. On to the next. Oh, the pellet factory. Sorry. Yeah, so this is the last serviceable industry up here. And I've just a couple mock-ups, yeah. The one's upside down. I get it. I see the doors, so don't ask. I think this is going to be the first time we're going to try and sanitize because it's a small spot. I can, work on it and make it look like something. But yeah, when you come in, you'll come in and run your train in and be able to service the guys. I got all of the piping and the little stuff. I'm going to put it in the middle here, right where the tractor is. I'm going to run a full, all the piping and that down the middle right there. Or even maybe down the very end line. Sorry, that beam's right in the way. Way down there. I gotta turn it, but you ain't gonna like it. Okay. Yeah, that'll be the first cool spot to do some changes, so. And turn back around. I think that's everything. And I think that, yeah, it works for us. now that it's cleaned up, I'll be able to run a few more trains and have some more fun. You know, we're still helping out at the CN Silver Creek sub. Still helping them getting things, but things are coming along really nice up there right now, and everybody's got a new lease on life of what things are doing up there. So that's great. Here we're going to look back at the UP5 power and how it works with the GT400 and the 402 throttles. All right, and so now I've got the power is on to the DBs and the controllers, but you can see that I don't have track status back here, but my handheld has power, and that's what the power to the just powering up the UP5s themselves. That's what that gives you. If I didn't have the track power on yet, I would need the battery to help select that to turn it on. But I can do it, man. I can do it with this without a battery in it. So then if I go out here, so then I'm going to do power, and then I do plus, and then you can see now I got track status is on. I exit, and then on come the RS3. That's what started up over there. Yeah. Then I can select, go to this throttle. I want to go to that throttle, do local, and then he is 372. I'll go 372. I enter, and he's automatic on 8, which is a shutdown for him, so I have to press 8 off. He comes back on. His light's already on, which is 0. And if I do bell, horn, and then short horn. 4 is dynamic brake, which I've got it set up that he slows down when dynamic brake comes on. 5, 6, 7, I can't remember. 7 is dimming. And he does a couple other things. He does some air sounds and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, thought that'd be a cool little thing. All right, next. All right, so with that little cheap handheld thing that I made, or I modified, I can now put this in the tripod and go all hands-free. So that's pretty cool. This is one of the, I got 2 of these magnetic decouplers installed on the layout, and they work really well, and I wanted to just show it. I think everybody sees them, but I think it turns out really good. I'm going to pull 372 up and come back around with that. Let's go backwards with them. There's his lights. Maybe I'll come out so we can see. I should check my switches. Oh, there's a bad spot. I'll have to clean that switch. That was usually runs pretty good. If you listen to him, he's got a clickety-clack too. Oh, I forgot. He's long hood forward. I'm thinking he's going in reverse. He's actually going forward. I'm going to come up and pick up some of these hopper cars. Ooh, there's another dirty spot. And see, that's these Atlas switches. They're really funny. They're not as good as, we really like the Pico ones because of the frogs are insulated and that. But some of these plastic ones, they just are funny about this. And you can see the switch or the coupler moving under the weight, or under the magnet. So I hope we can capture some of this. All right. Back up just a little. Should release. There we go. Back up again. Should be able to go into glad hand. Look at that. Beautiful glad hand. And we use KD couplers for everything that we do. And we use a couple different sets of them. Now give me a minute here. I just want to drop this guy. Whoa, sorry. Just going to adjust the tripod so that I can move it a little easier. All right. And there we go. We set those two guys off. I'll give them a stop. The only thing is just make sure you don't stop on over top of the magnet. I'm going to pick up two of the guys that are sitting in the yard over here. I think remember I got brake on one of these ones. Oh, 11 is brake on this. Nice. So I can throw the brake on and then just play with the brake. Yeah, that's awesome. I knew I had it on now. So there's 11. He's still going forward, but it's brake thrown. Oh, did I land? Oh yeah, perfect. Right over the magnet. So I can just release the brake and stop him again. Switch direction, release the brake, pull away, put on the brake, switch direction, put on the brake again. Oh, this one car. Oh yeah, this one car. It's off camera now. This one car, I don't like its coupler. It's been painted, and it's not reacting well with the others. I gotta be careful I don't. Sorry, it looks like I'm really struggling, but I am. Let me get my one hand over here. I'm going to put him off layout because I forgot about that coupler being a little funny. Alright. I don't know why he's revving so hard. Alright. I take the brake off. It's going in reverse. I don't want to do that. I want to go the other way. Oh, I didn't realize. All right. No, I don't want that. I want him. All right. Throw the brake. Throw my switch. I'll just go into the first row. Change direction. Nice. So these KD couplers are really, really nice. Right. So as I said, that we use all KD couplers. Originally we used just your regular standard KD coupler with the brass metal plate spring within them. But then we found the metal whiskered ones. And, well, not metal, the whiskered ones. And so we don't really use those old ones with the brass plates anymore. We got a few left, but pretty much all of my old stock that we first started off with has those in them. I'm not going to change them over. They work fine. But any new stuff that we get as comes in, we've used up the last of our standard ones, and Adam just wants to go with scale head for everything of the KD style. So, so anything new is basically a scale head as they come in. But one thing that, I've learned with what Adam has showed me is that there are different uses for the different types of coupler heads that there are. And one of them specifically here is for the coal cars. And for the coal cars, they use these heavy-duty couplers. And those are the 118-25 SF shelf head couplers. And you can see right there. And those are like heavy-duty. You can see in the frame there that those are really a nice beefy one, and those are for the coal cars heavy load, right? And then behind that, I've got the regular standard size, which is the 15850. Those are just your scale head whisker ones, and that's in the blue box car. In the BC cars, there is the old standard one. Oh, sorry, let me back up. There's your scale head, just standard ones. In the BC car is just the regular standard, or not standard. Yeah, standard, sorry. In the blue car was the scale head. And in the tank cars, they're shelf head couplers. And those are the 119-25. And those are the SE shelf head ones. And let me back out. So the shelf head ones for the tank cars, they are great, and they're prototypical, but you can't just grab and hand to God the shelf head ones. They stick together. You got to literally use the tool to take them apart. And if you happen to have a string line happening, you're going to have a lot of them going down the roll because they all just hang on to each other. It happened twice to Adam here on this layout too. But all the regular ones that don't have the shelf head ends, you can just kind of separate them. And that's why I was having a problem separating the coal car there, because it is a shelf head, but it's that larger SF knuckle. And it is a bugger to try and separate, but it will separate. But the ones on the tank cars, they got those little tabs, they don't let go at all. So, but no, if you work them properly and make sure they're free working, you'll get really good usage out of using the magnet decouplers with those. If you got everything set up real nice, any kind of a binding in the coupler pocket, they won't work well. And as you saw, the one that's painted, it doesn't like to work well either. So I got to replace that one. But yeah. Up at the club, Adams and the club at CN Silver Creek, they cut all the trip pins off because they don't like the look of the trip pins. They'd rather have them off and do air hoses or just leave them off. But I don't agree with that, not on my layout. I need the trip pins. I want the trip pins. They act like an air hose and it looks like an air hose. And you ain't broke, don't fix it. All right. So one of the things that I think I mentioned before, but it's a really relevant thing that all the bench work, all the tops, everything down below is pretty much either I got from my work, I went to job sites and asked for scrap lumber, and even the primer on the walls. We use primer in our some of the assemblies, and when the cans get almost empty, they throw them out. And I asked for a couple of those cans. They got a couple inches left of primer at the bottom, and that made up all of this stuff right here. Even the backer, this over here on the wall over here, this stuff, that's just masonite hardboard. And unfortunately, when I did build a whole studded wall end to end in here, and I primed all the studs so that nothing would rot, but I never insulated it. But I'm in a semi house, so that's the joining wall, so it's warm down here all the time anyways. Even this this wall back here, that's some of that soft fibrous board that I got from my work too. And we get this stuff coming off of pallets and stuff like that. So, and exactly that, pallets. We get skids of 8-foot pallets, and they're perfectly great 2x4s. I just got to take them apart. And that's exactly where I got everything. I ripped all of the framing down to 2x2s, 1.5 by 1.5. And that's where everything came from that. All of the risers were made out of the 3/4 inch plywood that we get. You can see it's primed. I did have some pieces that were solid wood, but basically I made like I-beam underneath them and attached the small side to the bottom, and the top side is what screwed to the deck. Even this 1/2 inch chipboard, I went past a construction site and they had 8 sheets of the stuff sitting out. They were basically throwing them out because they used them for concrete forms. And there was almost nothing wrong with them except for a little bit of concrete on it. I had to knock it off, clean them up. Instant shelving. And the top and the bottom, like everything. So, if you're frugal enough and you can see what's happening at construction sites, they throw out so much that you can just ask for stuff. And they're like glad to give it to you. But, yeah, that, besides some fasteners and the threaded rod, I talked about that before, the threaded rod that holds up these ends, that I had to buy. But even, like I said, even the steel plates and everything that I put up there, I made those myself, right? So I just noticed I might have a problem right there. I'm going to have to get up there and look at that one and maybe fix it. I don't know if it's pulled down or not. Ooh. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. You can't see it because I'm shaking as much, but I can see it. That's moving. So I got to look at that guy. Anyways, yeah. All the other ones are holding up there pretty good. Yeah, I'll have to go back to that one. But yeah. And the curves, I got to show you this. So we make shapes and things at my work too. And this upper curve right here that you see runs right here. That was a shaped curve from my work. And I used it to trace, to make that right there. I used another one on the other side. And I also used it to trace the curves that we have right here. So it made nice clean curves for all of our corner pieces too. So I didn't have to, try to get out a Dremel and make the curve nice and smooth. I used it as a template and made my curves. So it turned out really nice. All right. Yeah, the sticker pole. That's what I think I call it, the sticker pole. That's our downpipe from the main sewer, so I had to make sure that I boxed around that. No, sorry, you can't see it. To make sure that we can get at that. All right, and yeah, there's the tripod that I'm setting it up on now to get some better shots. All right, see ya. So this is Adam's next adventure. He wants to do a crossover switch that takes us from the second layer and turns us left right away after we do the first loop and connects around to the upper staging Y or reversing loop up at the top. These pictures kind of show what we want to do, but the biggest problem here, there's a large span that goes across and we don't know how to make this removable and or if it's going to be another reversing loop, but something to look at anyways.